or I guess not the Super Nintendo, but I guess just speaking of Nintendo in general, and speaking of mods, this first thing I want to bring up was something mentioned in the Melee Games gaming news section, thanks to Lighthaven, aka Sergey, and I was like, oh, this sounds interesting. And of all places, who'd have thought freaking Screen Rant had this one? But yeah, so Zelda Sands of Time is the Ocarina sequel I never expected. And just as the heads up here is that it's a ROM hack. It's a ROM hack for Ocarina of Time, which ROM hacks are fantastic ways of also getting a little bit more life out of a game. I've especially loved how also now like they have ROM hacks for Breath of Fire 2 to expand the naming and also get a proper translation. And that's the thing that I love, is that like it was in the 90s for a lot of old RPGs coming over from Japan and stuff like that. Look, the translations were not great, and before, especially the insidious nature of localizations, there was a little more, just a slight bit of more honesty. There's still some censorship going on, even then for the quote localizations or translations when they came over here. But you could say that it was a little more transparent with some of it. Anyway, ROM hacks is a very cool thing. Passionate groups getting together to either, like this in this instance, make a unknown sequel. So as the article starts out, before we get into this, let's be clear. I know Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I'm also making sure that the music is just not too loud. I don't want it to overpower. Already has as a sequel. It's called Majora's Mask, and it's one of the greatest games of all time. I'm not trying to erase Majora's Mask, and I'm certainly not trying to disrespect Link's adventures in Termina. With that out of the way, let's talk about a little game called Legend of Zelda Sands of Time. If that doesn't sound familiar to you, I'm not surprised. While this is a sequel, one of the most critically acclaimed video games ever, it's also completely unofficial, which in many ways actually makes it more impressive than one of the screenshots from, and I've got the page for it, and I can drop the link in the chat for in just a moment for the main website, because it took me a moment to look through this to find it too. It kind of annoyed me. They didn't make it very clear in the article. Legend of Zelda Sands of Time is a ROM hack of Ocarina of Time that throws in so many new ideas and mechanics that it's a completely new game. As is typical for most fan games, this one is a pretty dark plot. It appears to take place in the Downfall timeline, which is the reality in which Ganon kills Link in Ocarina of Time and takes over Hyrule completely. The synopsis reads, long after the events of the Dark Age, when the evil King Ganon ruled over the kingdom of Hyrule, who died of old age, a young adventurer and fairy rose up in the hope of gaining wealth and the power that Ganon once held to live a life that suited their own interests. As far as ROM hacks go, this one is pretty packed with features, including completely new story, brand new world to explore with its own unique dungeons, a new set of items and bosses to defeat, a new soundtrack, oh impressive, a much greater challenge than Ocarina of Time. I think Ocarina of Time had a good balance. Although that water temple could jump off a ledge, unless you played the 3DS version. The 3DS version I remember being a lot better to navigate. So you get what you pay for, which is to say, remember, this isn't official. Obviously, because this isn't an official Nintendo game and is the passion project of a few dedicated fans, it's a little rough around the edges. I don't say this to slam the people who worked on it, to be clear. They should be very proud of what they made. Certainly, most of the reviews for the hack are glowing. One quote, I'll read the reviews in just a moment, because I will go to the main page. So if you're a hardcore fan of The Legend of Zelda, looking for something new to play, however, you could do a lot worse than Sands of Time. So then we'll take you on over to this. Like I said, I'll drop the link in the chat for anybody that's interested. Bada boom. Really quick here, Lord Slasha says, SNES and GameCube were my tops. I played a lot of 64, but have fonder memories of the SNES and GameCube. Decrepit says, Shadows of the Empire, though, I haven't attempted, but fans say it's very difficult. Yes, The controls are very floaty, so be warned. Otherwise, like the soundtrack, phenomenal. Move that up a bit. Soundtrack is phenomenal. Game is overall just a blast. I enjoy it, but yes, the game controls are a little clunky for the time, but still, it's a fun time. Have fun. Don't play it on PC though, because that's even more difficult to try and set up the controls. I'm waiting for, like, I hate to say it, hope Night Dive does do a port of that, or a re-release, a remaster, because they actually clean up controls, or Aspire. But yeah, play the N64 version. Music sounds good. Fantastic. All right, so I dropped the link in the chat for anybody that's interested, and if I clip this, I'll also put it in the description. But yes, here we go. We have it on here, and it's kind of, we just got the same description right there, but this at least has a little more of the screenshots on here. We get to see some of the new. He's even got a new shield. Can use the boomerang as an adult. Oh wait, did he? No, I forget. My brain is completely ditched. Otherwise, here we go. Looks like, is that a pile of Hyrulean shields there? Oh god, mining facility. Well, I do gotta say it. I mean, those character models back then were not glorious. Not glorious at all. The demons here are said to eat puppies. Please help. Okay, the new map, current position, Steel Town, Gerudo Domain. Okay, cool. Well, this is definitely gonna be a game I'm gonna be looking at and wanting to try out for sure at some point. But yes, so not all glowing reviews. Ambitious, but doesn't work on console. It's clear that a lot of work went into this ROM hack, and the beginning of it is fun to play. However, you soon reach blue blocks that are you're supposed to remove by playing a song. This does not work on console, making it impossible to proceed. Aside from that, I also ran into a crash when I paused the game, and the magic meter is mostly cut off at the edge of the screen. All these problems make it clear that the hack was never tested on console. That's interesting. I never thought of people making it to putting it to console. I wonder. Oh wait, there are like virtual consoles and stuff like that that can do that sort of stuff. So okay, that's probably it. That's interesting. Awesome Zelda ROM hack. I played the game with the version 1.22. This is an awesome ROM hack that's definitely worth playing. There is some room for improvement. The creator of the ROM hack did an amazing job with the level design and writing. The game also provides a fair and not overly difficult challenge. If you're interested in playing a Zelda ROM hack, you should definitely check this one out. Amazing hack, absolutely worth playing. The effort that went into this is astounding. Music is great, setting is awesome, dungeon design is mind-bogglingly complex, writing is witty and fun. This is a true Downfall timeline sequel. Just don't switch items while using a bottle. Well, that's good to know. Good to know. I probably should have looked to see, but I started thinking about it just now. I was like, oh, I probably should have checked this. Let's see where does this go? Or is this gonna be a download link? Oh, this takes me right back. I probably should have checked to see if there was if they actually made like a little trailer or something for it. In fact, let me check that really. Decrepit says, Shadows of the Empire soundtrack is great. Yes, I have it on vinyl. Ooh, very cool. Yeah, a lot of times, I mean, for most of the soundtrack, they reuse tracks from the movies, which I mean, I think is a perfect way to go. And then they created some new ones, and it was amazing. Why am I forgetting? Like Shizor's theme and everything like that. Just phenomenal. Lord Slash says looks cool. Yeah, gotta say I'm interested to check this out. See what they've done with it all. Let me see if there is really quick. If there is a little trailer that we can play for it, just out of curiosity. No, it's looking like we got long playthroughs. What? Okay, that might be something for next week. I'll make a note of. Let's see. No, it's just like I said, a lot of long playthroughs and stuff like that. So unfortunately, nothing for this. Bummer. But regardless, looks cool. I look forward to checking this out at some point in time. I got some games that I got to get through first, but I look forward to it. Okay. Let me just, I'm just going to make a note here just to have that saved next week. Gotta make sure I keep everything in order here, because I gotta check. I'm gonna look forward to checking this out. You know, that's a long gameplay thing, but I'll have to check it out. But yeah, like I said, I guess we could just kind of skip through. Okay, yes, you little goofy goober. Okay, let's check this out. What's with Link waking up in a bed? Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time. Man, he's just trying to get some sleep, and everybody comes and bugs his ass. Contractual companion. All right, let's slash no towels, need sleepy. I like the little attack down there. It's just like a fist. Let's see. Banana dump. Oh, we got some Gorns making an appearance. I got the Deku. The music has an interesting mix to it. Like for a minute there, I even kind of heard some aspects of some of the Ocarina of Time soundtrack. I think it was like from the Deku tree even. So the shield looks interesting. Ooh, that almost seemed dicey. Let's go. What do you got there, Link? You went through it too quickly. But bombs. He got bombs. Bombs are good. Ah, you missed one, you goober. Whoa, that seemed fast. Huh. The timer on dropping bombs is not very long. Okay, now it seems, what the hell? Like the first time he dropped it seemed really quick. Oh, wow, that was like on contact. Interesting. Wait, surely he could have used the arrow to hit that, right? Huh. Whatever. Well, like I said, it looks impressive, looks good. I'm definitely gonna be interested in checking this out at some point. All right. Well, that's cool. If you're interested in checking it out, like I said, links will be in the description. It's in the chat currently for anybody that wants. Enjoy.